Hey, you. Yes, you. It's time to shake yourself and get out of bed. I am Ebony S. Bailey, and I am so excited you joined me today. Are you ready? Because I sure am. It's time for another episode of She Woke Up Dreaming. This morning, I have a phenomenal woman on the line with me. Hey, Priestly.
Morning.
She is awesome, guys. I can't wait for you to hear her story. I love her story. I love her voice. She seems so mellow and calm. But honey, let her get a microphone in her hand and she will tear some things down. So I know that there's a story behind that voice. I know there's a story behind the voice. If you can sing with conviction, that means you've been through something.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means you've experienced something. And so today she's going to talk about how she woke up and started walking into her purpose, and she started walking her journey and blazing her own trail. She's going to talk to you today about who she is and where she came from. And so I want you guys to welcome my special guest this morning, Miss Priestly Stephenson. Round of applause. Good morning. So let everybody know who you are besides the boys. I mean, you can tell them what you do. You can tell them what you do and all of that stuff, but let them know what you do and who you are.
Well, my name is Priestly, you already said. I was born in Columbia, South Carolina, so I consider myself to be just a regular country girl. I'm a PK. I have a sister and a brother. I'm actually stuck in the middle. People ask me if I have the syndrome, the middle child syndrome, and what that fully entails, but I feel like I do have it. So my sister is older, my brother is younger, so I have been singing. That's what I do, man. I've been singing since I was about 6 in church. I'm a PK. My father's a minister. My mother is a minister also. She don't like to claim it, but she is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I got my start in church. Just singing on the praise team, singing in the choir. Later, I would say probably about between middle and high school is when I started to get really comfortable in my skin. I realized, okay, maybe I can sing a little bit. People seem to enjoy it. I sound okay, so that's when I started to get comfortable in my skin. Like, okay, maybe this is something that I could really, really pursue, and I did. My parents are very, very supportive. They always have been.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is, because some people don't have that. Some people are very, very grateful to have my parents and my family who've been very supportive. So, and I had really good teachers too along the way that really kind of helped mold and shape me to be on the stages that I sing on now. So it's pretty cool.
You said some stages. What kind of stages you on? I see your shirt. It says Black Girls.
Yeah, I went to Black Girls.
Rock. Yes, ma'am.
This was a gift though. I was there last year, and it was pretty awesome just to be around other Black girls who rock. But yes, this shirt was a gift. I wasn't on stage that night, but I did get to meet a lot of the people who were on stage. So that was fun too. What stages though? Let's see. I have worked with a lot of people. Glory be to God. I'm currently with Monica. I've been singing with her for about 6 years, but I've also sang with Jennifer Holliday. I do a lot of studio work. I just got a chance to participate in the recordings of season 4, Greenleaf on OWN Network. So that's cool. Yes.
Thank you for telling me there's a season 4, because I've been waiting. So thank you. It's
been so weird though, because season 4 actually already started, and then they took like some shows now they're doing like these huge mid-season breaks. I don't understand what it is, but that's what's happening. So yes, there is a season 4, and the rest of it should be coming sometime soon.
Okay. I'll let you get back to talking about your stages though, but thank you for that. I can look forward to seeing the rest of Greenleaf.
Yeah, good too. It's gonna be good. So like I said though, I started out in church. So before I got to what I call the big stages, I had sang with gospel artists as well, Darwin Hobbs, Byron Cage, Vashawn Mitchell, just a lot of different artists. But my first really big gig, I would say, was in 2008. I was actually in college at the time. I was sitting in class and my phone rang, and it was one of the choir directors of the church I was a member of at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, I'm in class now. Do I answer my phone or do I not? So I said, you need to answer the phone. So I excused myself, went outside, answered the phone, and it was one of the choir directors, and he said Beyonce's creative director is in town and she's looking for singers. And I was like, okay, why are you calling me? I'm like, I'm in class, like, you know. And so he was like, I think you should go. I really think you should go. So the next day I had to make a decision, you know, do I go to an audition or do I go to class? And so I chose to go to the audition. And I showed up. It was myself and one other young lady who's actually a friend of mine. Nobody else came though. That was the weird thing. It's an audition in Atlanta at a major studio, and nobody was there except for me and her. And so Kim Burrs is that creative director. She also does Black Girls Rock. But she said to me, "Can you come back tomorrow because nobody's here? So there's no one here really." So I was like, okay. So went home. Back the next day, tons of people, and I'm like, okay, now I have to really audition now because people are here. And so, but I auditioned. I ended up getting a solo, and that was for the BET Hip Hop Awards in 2008. So that was my first, like, really big professional gig.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and I've been going ever since. Praise God.
Nonstop. Yeah. I have seen you have been all over the world.
Yeah.
All over the world. But that's amazing that that your foundation came. A lot of singers, their foundation starts in church. A lot of them. Mm-hmm. And to know that you're a PK, I understand. I understand. Yeah. But yeah, so that's cool. That's really cool. So you talked about some of your journey, right? Mm-hmm. So you talked about it. You've experienced some things. You went from, because you even said that you sung, but you didn't think anything of it at first. And it took you a little while to realize I might really have something. I might really have something. And I have something to work with. And it's something that people enjoy. Yeah. Isn't that crazy how some people recognize your gift before you do?
That was totally
like everybody around you recognizes it first. And you're like, why do they keep bothering me? Why do they keep pressuring me? Why do you keep calling on me to do something? But they see the greatness on the inside of you. Mm-hmm. They see that in your eyes. And your spirit is so sweet. It makes me smile. It makes me smile. So I have a question for you. I want you to, if you had one word to summarize who you are or your journey up until this point, what would that one word be and why?
I would have to say faith. I would say faith. Like I said, I'm a PK, but my parents, they weren't very religious, so to speak, but they taught me that it was important to have a relationship with God through faith.
Yeah.
So, we were in church all the time, but we knew what was most important. It wasn't just about being in the building all the time, but it was about making sure that your foundation was firm and that it was sure. And so that played a major part, and still, to this day. So I would have to say faith pretty much sums up where I come from and who I am and how I have gotten to the place that I am. And it will carry me, I believe, for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how people who don't have faith or don't know God, I don't know how they get through stuff.
Especially now.
Girl, now? Yes, ma'am. Now, this is the time that those who, like, I am a introvert all day. Like, I'm an introvert. This stuff like this, it tears my nerves up. Like, on the inside, my insides be turning. But stuff like this season where everything is on pause, like the world is on pause, it is giving me so much creativity. Like,
Yeah.
there are things that I have put on hold for a while. And now I'm like, okay, God, I can't keep saying I don't have time. You've given me more than enough time to do it now.
Absolutely.
Like, for example, I was supposed to do this in January. It's only April. Look, it's only April.
You got a little bit more time.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I mean, it's just like we take advantage of the opportunities that are given to us, and like I'm grateful for the time now. But there are some people who the silence and the solitude that this time is bringing is scaring them. But
Yes.
they have to be alone with themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've talked to some of those people, and you know what? I really I just pray for them. You know, I consider myself to be one of the blessed ones,
Mm-hmm.
my family, because we're okay with the silence. It
Yeah.
makes me a little bit though that silence and being home with your family is so scary to some people. I was talking to one of my colleagues, and he was just like, you know, I'm home and with my family, and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of, it's weird a little bit, you know,
It is.
because we're the opposite. I'm like, what quarantine? You know, this regular for us.
Mm-hmm.
We're as much as we travel, when we're not on the road, home, you know, just enjoying each other and enjoying each other's company. So, yeah, some people are not having that experience though.
Isn't that true?
So,
And it's crazy because my family, like growing up, we always did stuff together. Um,
hmm,
we pulled out board games. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
You know, kids don't know what those are. They want to do this.
right,
All that.
exactly.
And so I do like that you have a foundation with your family, and that family is important. So, and the fact that you have the support to be who you are makes it even more easy for you to do that, to walk in it gracefully, you know? And so, my question for you,
Mhm.
it's an easy segue into that is, when did you wake up and start walking in your purpose? Like, was it a person that helped you realize what you should be doing? Was it an event? Um, what caused you to walk forward in your passion, and forward with confidence in your passion?
I would say it was a few different things and a few different people. Um, like I said, I had really really good teachers. My creative arts teachers in high school and middle school, they were very very supportive as well. I still talk to them to this
Oh,
day.
that's
Like,
great.
I still see them, I still sing with them. They sing with, like, we have a connection, and I think that's really awesome. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so they definitely helped push me because I used to be really shy. Believe it or not, it took me a while to um, be comfortable with what my own voice sounded like, you know, and then comfortable enough to let other people hear it, you know, because like you said, a lot of times people see things and hear things that we don't yet. And that was me. It took me a while to get comfortable. I'm still getting comfortable in some ways. But I had really good teachers. Um, again, my parents. Um, and as far as events, after I did that award show in 2008, I said to myself, okay, I could do this. Like, this is a thing. People do this. You know, I live it. Like, after that, I knew that I wanted to do it more. You know, I was already
Mm-hmm.
church, already loving that, but I knew, and I had always believed that there was more for me. Um, my gift was for outside of the church, not just within the church. I didn't want to neglect the church necessarily, but I wanted more. You know, I wanted to travel. I wanted to sing in arenas and sing across the world, and I've been blessed to be able to do that. Um, after the award show, um, I started a group with three of my friends at the same church.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, she was a student at Georgia State, and so some type of way, I'm not sure how she found out, but she found out about this program. It's a government program called American Music Abroad, and what they do is you have to audition, but they send different groups out to different continents for a month to sing and to tour, to do
Oh,
workshops. So she brought it to our attention and said, I think we should do this. It could be great. And we're like, okay, but it was so much work. So, and we were young. We were in our early 20s. But we literally had to record an album,
Oh,
send
wow.
it in, a whole album.
A whole album. Okay.
And we did. We had to send it off to be judged and critiqued. And we did. And we got a call to come to New York and audition. So they loved us. We went to New York to Jazz at Lincoln Center, had a live audition, and we were selected to go to Africa. So we toured Africa, the West Coast, for a month.
Wow.
So went over there, that's a whole nother, we have to have another interview for this. That experience was amazing. Yeah, we did workshops and choir rehearsals, and it was an amazing experience. So after doing those two things, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I have to do. Even if I'm not able to, travel out of the country all the time, this is what I want to do. So those two events played a major role in my deciding to pursue what I really wanted to do.
I like what you said about, because some people think that the only way for you to use your gift is in church.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think you have to have that a gift equates to a microphone. It equates to holding a Bible and preaching. But no, your best ministry is on the outside of the church.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people think the only time to that you can have ministry is on a Sunday, on a Wednesday, a midweek service, at a special event. But no, you do your best ministering about your love for Christ and how you accept people and how He's transformed your life by allowing other people on the outside to see. And so I love that you can go into rooms that, the bishop from one church, can't come, because you've been given access into areas and people that that won't typically go in a church building.
Mm-hmm.
But you still get to spread the love of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You may not even talk about, okay, God, but they're like, you smile a lot. Your smile is so beautiful. Where did that come from? Oh, when I look at your eyes, your countenance, those different things, but you're able to portray that because God is in your heart, not just in your hand, not just in your gift.
Right. And I experienced the flip side of that too, what you're talking about. When after I did the award show, it was on a Tuesday and it taped here in Atlanta. I went back to the choir. I sang on Sunday, and some people knew that I had done the show because it aired on TV, and some people were, I was getting the looks and I was getting the stares. Like, I mean, you can sing, but BET really, and I'm like, yeah, why not? But it's about it's about carrying the light, out into the world, the light, and being the salt. So yeah, it comes with it though.
It does. I know, like, people really, like, there are a lot of gospel artists that get a lot of backlash for doing songs and collaborations with secular artists. There are, and the crazy part is, I'm like, some of these secular artists have more of a relationship than the ones that you see and that have the title of a gospel artist. Absolutely. And so we are supposed to go and make disciples. You can't go into the church and make a disciple. That means you have to go somewhere else and do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you go get God's people and bring them back. Bring them back.
Bring some back with me. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right.
So help me with this then. So your arena is different. I've spoken to a couple of different people so far, and everybody's doing something different. But one thing that you all have talked about so far is faith. Which is great to me. And so my next question for you was, have you ever heard of sleep paralysis?
I have heard of sleep paralysis, yes.
Okay. So, I'm trying to keep everything under this theme. Like, she woke up dreaming. Well, with sleep paralysis, you can be sleeping and you can be awake, but then you can't move. It paralyzes you. And in the natural, things that paralyze you typically is fear. So I want you to give us 2 practical tips that helped you overcome sleep paralysis or fear. And it helped you. And you also were able to start dreaming awake. Like that's the thing that we're talking about. Dreaming, daydreaming, we're dreaming awake. We can have whatever we dream about in the natural. So give us 2 practical tips that helped you.
What I had to do, I think everything starts with making a decision.
Hmm.
And so I had to make a decision first.
Yeah.
I had to really think about what I wanted my life to be like. What
Mhm.
I literally asked myself, Priestly, what if you could have it right now? What would a typical day in your life be like?
Wow.
What would the perfect work day or the perfect day at home or what have you? What would that day look like? And so once I decided what I wanted that to be for myself, I wrote it down. You know, that's something that everybody can do. Write it down. Whatever your prayers are, what's in your heart, write it down. And so those prayers, you know, if you will, um, kind of became my confessions. And so literally every day I
Hmm.
would I would read those out loud to myself so I could hear myself say what I wanted to see. And I spoke it every day on the days and it wasn't easy. Like I had done things here and there, you know, musically or career wise, but it wasn't as consistent as I wanted it to be. So there
Hmm.
was um, I think in 2012, I think it was, where I ended up getting a job. You know, I had to because even though I had things that I wanted to accomplish, I had dreams, I had goals, I also had responsibilities. You know, I had bills, I had, you know, I was still living with my parents at the time. So you know, we had expenses and we had to eat and my car needed gas and the note had to be paid, you know, so
Hmm.
I had to say, okay, be realistic. You might need to get a job, and that's what I did. So I was a banker for 3.5 years.
Wow.
But while I was working at the bank, I think that's when I really started to wake up
Hmm.
because I um, I had an opportunity to go to another audition. A friend of mine, the same friend who was in the group with me that went to Africa,
Uh-huh.
she sent me a text one day and said, you know, Monica's having auditions. She has male singers, but she transitioned to female singers. So I think you should go. And again, I did the same thing. I was like, you know, I'm not good. You know, I got a job. I'm making a little bit of money. I'm okay. You know, and she said, no, I really, really think, you know,
Hmm.
that you should go. You're in Atlanta. She's in Atlanta. The auditions are downtown. Just go. And so I dismissed it. I was like, I'm not, you know, I'm okay. Now I've settled, you know, for
Yeah.
being. And so the Holy Spirit said to me, how can you say you want more? How can you ask me for more
Hmm.
of a door that is right in front of you and
Hmm.
you won't even walk through it? You won't even walk through it. That was literally my experience. So
Wow.
to make a decision, either you're going to go after what you say you want and believe
Hmm.
that you can have it, go after it, or you're just going to stay where you are and keep, you know, keep dreaming but not really putting any effort into seeing it manifest in your life. And so I was literally at work and I asked my manager if I could leave. Like I'm like, can I just go? And mind you, this is a 9 to 5. I work at a bank. You
Yeah.
don't just go. And he'd be like, yeah, you can go. You know, but I left. I left early that day. I left work about 12:30 to get to a 3 o'clock audition.
Hmm.
And when I got there, I was like, okay, the whole Atlanta came. I was like, there's no way. It was like all these, because I'm not the best singer in the world. I know that. You know, other people, plenty of other people can sing. You know, and so I was like, I'm gonna be obedient. I came. You know, at the very least, I came. So,
Hmm.
needless to say, by the end of that day, I was getting a text message saying, "Hey, welcome to Team Monica." And so, wow, really, God? You know, he was like, "I told you." You know,
Hmm.
I had to make a decision. I had to be obedient. I
Yeah.
had to write down what I wanted. I had to confess it, and I still do that to this day. I write down what my vision is, what my dreams are, and I confess them. just confess in every area, whether it's my career, my finances, my health, my family, everything. Confess it so I can hear myself say what it is I want to see, and apply scripture because it has to come to pass. So
That's that church background right there.
yeah.
Look, that sounds like somebody that actually listened and allowed it to go into their spirit. Because, when you're younger, if you have the type of parents that some of us had, you go into church whether you want to or not.
You
It
are
don't
going.
matter. Get up, put the clothes on, wash your face, put some lotion on, and get to that car because we're going to church. But it sounds like relationship mattered more to you. And so when relationship with Christ matters more, then, the Bible tells us to seek first the kingdom of God.
Mm-hmm.
And then all these things will be added. And so if you do it in the right order, stuff will open up for you. And you're like, when did I get here? When did this door create itself? Like, I thought this was a wall. When was there an access? When did you give me access to something that I didn't even ask for?
Mm-hmm.
But that's how God, he's going before us. He's preparing the way. And if we believe that, then definitely there are going to be doors that open up. And it's up to us to be sensitive to know that, okay, he's speaking, so I need to listen. And there's something behind my yes. And so behind your yes gave you more freedom now than you had before. And you get to do what you love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because one of the things I had written down was that I wanted to sing full time. I didn't want to have to depend on my job, even though I was grateful for my job. For that length of time, I didn't want to have to clock in or clock out. And it's not to knock anybody because if it's necessary, you got to have a 9 to 5, you got to have a 9 to 5. I don't knock anybody because I had to do it too, but I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to wake up and be on somebody else's clock. I didn't want to have all the other obligations that came with having that particular job. I didn't want to deal with that. I wanted to be free to sing. And most creatives, we're kind of weird. Like we're not morning people. I'm not, praise God. We're here though. I'm not that much of a morning person, definitely an introvert, but in different jobs call for different things. So I knew that pursuing my calling would allow me to just be free and be myself. And so that's what I wanted to do. And so that was one of the things that I confessed though all the time. And I can humbly say and gratefully say that I have been, ever since I left that job, I haven't had to get another job. I've been singing full time ever since.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
So you spoke what you wanted to see and watched it manifest. And so we're creators. We create our world with our words. Yes. And so affirmations are definitely something that I love. Hard days, challenging days, when you start fighting those affirmations, there have been days that because I've been a part of my church's worship team for years, right? And so there have been days that I didn't feel like leading.
Right.
I didn't feel like I said, God, I got my own issues. Yeah. And today I don't feel like carrying the weight of everybody else. I don't feel like bringing everybody with me. But like you said, there's responsibility that you have to be. You have to be responsible with the gift that God gave you. And so if He told you to lead, then you lead, and know that He'll give you the strength to get through it, and He'll give you the strength to continue to pursue and be effective in your calling. And so definitely we have to write it down. You gotta stop letting stuff stay here. It becomes real when you put it on paper. It becomes real when you start making steps towards it. When you start confessing it, you start to believe it. So affirmations, honey, I do that all the time. Like I wrote a devotional about 3 years ago that every day was a different I am affirmation.
It's necessary.
And it is necessary. It is so necessary. So definitely you gotta build yourself up, because when there's nobody else around you
Yeah.
to encourage you, you gotta be able to dig down on that well on the inside of you and pull something out. You have to. You have to. So if you could, and you've kind of touched on some things, but if you could give me 3 things that you had to wake up from, 3 things, if you had to choose, that were impactful, that if you hadn't left those things, if you hadn't woke up from them, you would have still been stuck in fear and isolation. Yeah.
I think fear is definitely the biggest one. But I would also say insecurity, self-doubt. Because in this particular arena, or probably just with any arena, but you know, everybody wants to be a singer, everybody wants to be rich and famous. You know, in our world, everybody's the next. And so there are times where I found myself comparing myself to other singers. You know, she can do it, he can do it. Why do I have to do it? You know, they want me. Why do they need me? Am I really good enough to even be in this room or on this stage with these people? I had to shake some of that, you know. And it's a process. It's still, because the bigger the rooms, you know, the bigger sometimes, you know, it be your ear saying you know, all kinds of crazy things, making you feel like you don't deserve to be there. But you know, I would say those 3: fear and insecurity and self-doubt. Just believing that that my gift would make room for me, and when it did, to just accept it. You know, just be present. And if the door is open, you in here. So obviously, it was a part of God's plan and His will for me to be in the space that I'm in, and so to accept that. You know,
and you walk in it, and you walk with confidence, because you know He's on the inside of you. So you are supposed to be in every room He allows you in.
Yep.
And don't take yourself from the table. We do that. I've done it.
So guilty.
I've done it. I have gotten up and gave somebody else my seat. Like, I was doing that. We can't keep doing that.
Yeah, because you look at other people in your mind, in our minds, they're more qualified than we are. We just ourselves for whatever reasons, you know, we just feel like, well, he deserves to be here or she deserves to be here.
Yeah.
Really, it's by grace any of us are here, you know. So not giving up your seat, that's good. And that's definitely something that I had to overcome. Not giving up my seat.
We are not pulling the chair out for somebody else to sit in when it belongs to us. Look, our name's on that name card, not there.
Right. No, this is my seat.
Yeah, this is some good stuff. Yeah. So I have one more thing that I want you to do. And I know you're an introvert. I am too. So you just act like we're not here with you. Okay. Just act like we're not here. Act like you're talking to yourself, like it's a mirror and it's just you and yourself. So this is my bathroom mirror exercise. So I'm asking all my guests that come on to take about 2 minutes. And I have to take 2 minutes for some, because some of them could keep going. But, you know, 1 to 2 minutes, whatever you feel. But I want you to talk to our viewers as if you were giving yourself a pep talk in the mirror. Like, it's game day. You're about to walk on the stage, and you need the confidence. You need the jolt. You need to know that you're not walking alone, but you're walking with the confidence of God on the inside of you. So I want you to talk to us as if you're about to walk on the biggest stage of your life, and you're giving yourself that push that's needed, because nobody else is going to do it. It's just you in that mirror. So I want you to encourage us as we go on our day to day. We're going on a ride with you right now. Okay.
Yes. Well, what I typically do, what I always do, is look myself square in the face and say, Priestly, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Greater is He that's in you than he that's in the world. Father, all of you and none of me. All of you and none of me. I want people to see you when they see me. If you don't sing, I can't sing. If you don't speak, I can't speak. I stand in your strength today, because in my it's your strength is made perfect. All of you today, Father, and absolutely none of me. I'm praying for the people around me. I pray that the energy in the room is right, that Holy Spirit, even in this atmosphere, in this environment, I don't care what kind of music is playing, what's going on outside the building, I welcome you into this place right now. Have your way in this moment. Have your way in me. Use me as you see fit to encourage somebody, to uplift somebody, to help somebody. And while I'm helping them, you help me. It's in you that I stand. All these things I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I'm encouraged. I know that he's on the inside of me, and when I stand, he stands. You know, I thank you so much. You don't understand. There was a clip that I saw of you.
Really?
You were on stage, and it was probably Herman that posted. So you were on the stage.
Yes.
And it was like maybe 2 years ago or so. But you were on the stage and you were singing. You were leading worship. And you were ministering. And when I tell you, I have watched that clip countless times. And it's not that I just wanted to hear your voice. It was the authority that you had in the moment. Like you commanded the atmosphere to shift. And it was just like the sound that was coming from your voice was not one that was scared to fight the enemy. Like you were strong and you were powerful in that moment, and it encouraged me. And so that was one of the reasons too that I brought you on, because I said, if she could encourage me by just a small 2-minute clip, you know, and I don't know your whole story, you know, I don't know all of it. I just see the smile. And I know that a lot of people that have that smile, they smile because Christ has kept them.
Yes.
He sustained them.
Yes.
And that smile does cover up so many other things that the world probably couldn't even handle hearing. And they wouldn't even know that, wow, you went through all of that and you still got that beautiful smile. Yeah. So I had to bring you on, honey. I had to say, let me see. And she was just obliged to love me.
It has been my pleasure. It's been my pleasure. I haven't done an interview probably it's been about 10 years probably since I have sat down and just talked and shared, you know, like this with somebody. So it's my pleasure. I thank you for having me. Really, I do.
Well, I thank you for waking up.
Yes.
Because you allowed that sleeping giant to wake up on the inside of you. And just know that this is not the end for you. You know, like this is something else you're doing. Yes, this will be another piece of your story. So I can't wait to see what else happens.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see. And you can't get rid of me now. Like, stuck with me now. Now. Well, thank you again. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for being transparent. And thank you for allowing us to know part of your journey. And so I want to thank you guys for viewing us this morning. I pray that you are encouraged. She gave you that pep talk. She started off with a pep talk, but then she went to a prayer. So she done covered us in prayer. She did it all. And so just know that you go with the greater one on the inside of you, that you are enough, that you are strong, you are powerful, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you can do anything that you set your mind to do. Because if it's in your heart to do, that means God has planted it there for you. Because I truly believe that He gives us the desires of our heart, meaning He gives us that thing to desire. So you all have a great day and tune in next week for our very next guest. Be on the lookout to find who it is. Just know it's going to be somebody great. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of She Woke Up Dreaming. For more content, visit ebonysbailey.com or subscribe today on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcast, or Google Play.